What's up, y'all? Y'all just tuned in to NBA Central. I got Cognac Boy Bobby and Big Kev in the building. Man, we got to talk about Dallas, man. It's been an epic failure. Who's to blame? And we got to talk about who we think is going to win these play-in games in the East. The West not set yet. Let's get to it. But you got to hear the music first, just like my nephew said.
Thank you for tuning in to the number one place for your basketball fix, NBA Central, hosted by the Cognac Boys.
What's up, guys? This is
Bro,
NBA Central, where we bring you all the best and latest and the best content in the NBA. What's up, guys? How y'all doing on the panel?
we doing Gucci. What up?
We
What
good,
up? What's the
E.
word? Let's talk about this Dallas Mavericks team because I hope this don't go by the wayside of everybody and every NBA fan in this in the world. The Dallas Mavericks just committed one of the most epic fails in NBA history, I think. They went from a fourth seed in the Western Conference to all the way out the play-in. Now, I know who y'all know me and how I feel about Luka Doncic, but I want to hear who y'all think is to blame for this epic collapse. Go ahead, Big
Well,
Kev.
so when I saw this, I was like, man, that's gonna be a nice offensive backcourt situation. Help them defensively. So when Dallas traded for Kyrie, I couldn't understand what the thought process was. You gave up Dorian Finney-Smith. You gave up players that were good defensively and 3-and-D guys. You gave up shooting and defense for a guy that needed to have the ball in his hands, just like their star player Luka Doncic. Um, I'm gonna say I blame the front office for this more than any player. I blame the front office for swinging at some of that on off the. It just didn't make sense in terms of style of play. So that's who I blame the most. I blame Kyrie, I blame Luka, of course, but I blame the front office the most for trading away defensive players for an offensive player that was already mercurial to add to the Luka Doncic situation.
Oh, bro.
For sure. I ain't mad at that. Me, it's twofold for me. I'm blaming Luka Doncic, but I'm gonna give a little bit of the blame to the front office. The front office wanted to bring in star power. And sometime when you bring in star power, we know that it's gonna be casualties all over the place. And then in that situation, you know what I'm saying? Guys that Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, they had to get up out of there in hopes that you can get a star to help you contend and push you above making it to the Western Conference Finals. Because let's keep it a buck. Just with those players, their ceiling was the Western Conference Finals. If you add a player like Kyrie, you could potentially push into a finals appearance. That's why majority of the blame for me goes to Luka Doncic. He didn't change his game, bro. He failed to change his game. You don't have to score 40 when you got a guy next to you that can score 40 just right along with you and make it look more impressive. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Luka Doncic is simple. He failed to adjust his game for the betterment of the team. Stop being a lazy ass on defense. You don't have to hold the ball for it's 24 seconds in the shot clock. He giving the ball up, but it's like 7 seconds left. That's unacceptable, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, man. This is like music to my freaking ears. And I don't mean to pound on Luka Doncic, but I must give my answer right now. Let's take this all the way back to last year where the Dallas Mavericks went all the way to the Western Conference Finals. Who did they have as a co-star with Luka Doncic?
Jalen
Jalen
Brunson.
Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Brunson was absolutely fantastic with the Dallas Mavericks yesterday. He had a chance to build with Luka Doncic, stay there, and maybe they would have been the favorites to make it to the NBA Finals this year. But what did he do? He said, "Fuck that! I'm going to New York. I'm going to." Maybe it was the money, but he still could have stayed with Luka Doncic, and they would have been hella competitive. They probably would have been one of the favorites to go to the NBA Finals from the Western Conference, but he did not because he could not play with Luka Doncic. He was never going to get his fair share with Luka Doncic. Okay,
I
now let's
disagree
move.
with that though.
Okay, that's fine. Let me finish my statement. Then we move on to this year. The Dallas Mavericks are playing pretty well. They in the 4th seed in the Western Conference. We could pretty much, if they didn't make a move in the midseason, that they would have made the playoffs overall, while not even being in the play-in. Spencer Dinwiddie, Torian Finney-Smith, Dorian Finney-Smith. That was their defensive anchor, if you want to say that. Not an anchor like a big man, but he was their best defensive player. Spencer Dinwiddie was a perfect sidekick for Luka Doncic, I think, because he was the most unselfish. He can get you buckets, and he can spot up and shoot. What Luka Doncic mostly likes from his players. He think he's LeBron James. He wants 4 shooters out there so he can do his thing for 20 seconds, and then if he gets in trouble, kick it out with a hot dog pass, most of all. Then we get to the trading deadline. Cuban, they feel some kind of pressure. Luka Doncic, this is his first year on that Supermax contract. They know they got to build a contender around Luka Doncic. But how hard is that, building around a guy that nobody wants to play with, and he can't play with other superstar players? It's just hard. You can't get players. You happen to find a Kyrie Irving that has no other choice but to go with you. I guarantee you Kyrie Irving is not going to play with the Dallas Mavericks next year.
That's fair.
They rolled the dice. We trying to appease to this guy, Luka Doncic. Let's roll the dice.
But you're supposed to, though, when you got star talent. You got to roll the dice. You just can't sit pat. And I wouldn't put that Jalen. What the fuck? I wouldn't put that on what's the name? Jalen Brunson. I put that on. I wouldn't put Jalen Brunson's situation on Luka. That's Mark Cuban. You tried to lowball him.
Yep.
You tried to lowball him. Now we got to keep it like Luka deserved the blame for falling from 4th to 11th. Mm-hmm. But he don't deserve no blame for Mark Cuban wanting to be a cheap ass.
They was trying to pay that man $50 million. 50. Wait a minute. That's what he was asking for, and they was telling no to the 50. But he was asking for 50, and they told him no. So that's crazy.
Okay, I feel y'all on that, but I just want to the last statement before we move on to the next subject. Yesterday, in a game that the Dallas Mavericks threw, and Luka Doncic came in for some crazy quarter. That's the most weirdest shit. This is the weirdest shit I ever seen. They had some type of Slovenia day trying to dedicate it to, trying to appease to Luka Doncic yesterday. And at the second quarter, he played all of the first quarter. I think he scored 11, 13 points or something like that. He got in the second quarter. He played one defensive possession, came back, scored a basket, intentionally fouled, and got out the game. But the intention of the Dallas Mavericks was him to come out the game and get a rounding reception from the crowd, which he did not get. Everybody is starting to find out what type of play. This guy is talented. Let me get this right, because y'all think I'm just being crazy. He is talented, but I don't think that any superstar player that you can build around that wants to come and help this guy win a title, it's nobody going to come and play with this guy. So that Luka Doncic, I just can't. So let's go on.
We got to let us respond to that.
Yeah, respond. Respond.
So I'm right there with you on this one, Cdub. I think I don't like the current makeup of how NBA teams are doing business right now. To be on a losing team who still was mathematically in the play-in situation, and to just blatantly disrespect the fans of the Dallas Mavericks, the fans of the Chicago Bulls, and the fans of the NBA as a whole, and just say, you know what, we're going to hold out to hope that we can get a top 10 protected pick, and we're just going to throw this game. It's atrocious. I've never seen anything like it. Over the years, of course, it's been load management this and so on and so forth. But like, oh my God, last night was the worst that I've ever seen it. It didn't make any type of sense to me as a competitor. I don't even like to lose YMCA basketball. So I can't imagine, if this is my profession, this is what I do for a living, and y'all literally telling me to lay down and roll over and not give it my best. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I did not like what I saw from the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic last night. It was terrible.
Before you go,
It
nephew,
was.
what does that say about the competitor and Luka Doncic? Obviously, this is his team. Why wouldn't he be like, hell no, I'm playing the whole game. We finna get in the play-in. What you
And
say to that?
again, it goes back to this modern day AAU pacified, entitled generation of basketball players that we have right now. That's literally what we have. It's just a bunch of spoiled, rich basketball players. And if they can't get their way, if they're losing, they throw tantrums and hissy fits. So what does it say to Luka Doncic? It shows me that he's not the type of player that I think he is. Stats ain't everything. You got to have heart, and you got to have it up here too. You got to have the mentality and the heart. Kobe wouldn't have done that.
Oh, hell no.
I'm just saying he wouldn't have. KG wouldn't have done that. Like the
No
players
way.
that we grew up watching would go out there with one leg and one arm if that's all they got. So these guys today, it's just weird to me. You making $40 million and you can't go out there and play basketball, and that's what you do for a living. It doesn't make sense to me.
At this point, I'm gonna just keep it a buck with everything. Like, I agree with everything y'all said, and that's the problem that we see right now. But when it comes to Luka and that shit right there, you could tell that was for one, he lied to us because he said that he playing every game until they are mathematically out. If you go in, you play that game, y'all was whooping the Bulls' ass. Yep. You could have won that game, still been mathematically in, but you elected to sit. And to me, I'm gonna echo the same thing you said, big bro. It's a slap in the face to the fans. It's a slap in the face to people that got it. A lot of times, the parents only going for the kids, and they got two kids and a spouse. That's 4 tickets.
Yep.
Just a ticket. Just a ticket for me and my son when I went to a Bulls game in November. I spent $300 because I wanted to treat myself, but also, you know what I'm saying? You wanna get a good seat that's worth your money. So, like that, stuff like that, it really has to it make you consider on like what are you gonna do in your time? Because if guys just gonna keep low managing, and then there's the we going off topic, but just real quick, then there's the group of people drop the games to 65. They gonna rest in the 65 games too.
That's crazy.
So what's the difference? But Luka Doncic, you're gonna have to face it. It is what it is. You let this happen on your watch because you failed to adjust your game. We can go to the next topic, though.
Oh, bro, that was a good discussion on Luka Doncic. We will touch back on that. It will be eager. I will be eager to see what they do on the offseason. It's going to be very interesting. But let's move on to the Eastern Conference play-in tournament. I think it is set. We have the Chicago Bulls versus the Toronto Raptors and the Atlanta Hawks versus the Miami Heat. I want to know from you guys, we're going to start with the 9-10 seed. Who y'all got and why? Chicago Bulls versus Toronto Raptors. Go ahead, big bro. Who you got and why?
It's the Raptors. It's the Raptors. I mean, I would love to see the Bulls win that game and have an opportunity to make it into the playoffs, but they haven't done anything this season to show me that they can win a pressure-packed game at all.
Bro, nephew?
I'm going to go with what Kev said. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And, everybody see the banner behind us. We sat here, we watch every single game, bro. And the Bulls going to have to put out a Herculean performance, in my opinion, to even get out of that game. And we on the road. And I'm pretty sure Billy Donovan, the Bulls head coach, if you didn't know, he's going to trot out a lineup that's just not even going to match up height-wise with the Raptors. So, unfortunately, and with the history, a 10 seed has never won a play-in game.
Okay.
History repeats itself on Wednesday night, unfortunately.
Bro. Well, I'm different. Y'all see the shit in the back. I'm not hiding my fucking morals. I say that this team surprised you when you think the least of them. Everybody thinking they finna lose this game. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bulls to pull it off and win this game against the Toronto Raptors in Canada. Ring it up. Chicago Bulls win the 9-10 play-in game. Now let's go to the Atlanta Hawks and the Miami Heat. This is a tough game right here. This is a tough game to gauge. Go ahead, big bro. Who you got in this game? It's tough.
It's definitely a toss-up, but I'm going with Miami. It's a Heat culture situation for me. I feel like these guys are going to do what it takes to win. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals as a unit. They've been to the finals as a unit. Jimmy Butler's playing his best basketball. Eric Spoelstra has been voted one of the top 5, top 10 best coaches in the NBA. So I just feel like they're going to be prepared to go out there and win. And I just don't think volume shooting Trae Young is going to know how to facilitate a game like that. He does lead the league in assists. I can give him that if I'm not mistaken. He's up there at
Halliburton.
least. It's
Yeah, he up
Halliburton.
there though.
Okay.
He up there.
He's up there though, but he also takes 25, 26, 27 threes a game. I mean, shots a game. And in this play-in situation versus Miami, that could really hurt Atlanta. If he has an 8 for 27 night, I don't see Atlanta winning this game. So I'm picking Miami to take care of business.
I'm going with Miami as well. Because there ain't too many coaches you can pick over Eric Spoelstra if we keeping it a buck. But also, playoff Jimmy Butler is a real thing. That's when he goes in and he has the record to prove it. I'm going to put my money on him. And I also think that Bam Adebayo is a matchup that the Atlanta Hawks don't have anybody for. So, you got Clint Capella. He ain't bad, but I just think Bam will be able to outwork him. So I'm going to take the Miami Heat in that game.
Oh, that's a great choice. How can I be mad at that? But I must play devil's advocate. The Atlanta Hawks also have playoff experience. Remember, they beat the Philadelphia 76ers a couple of years ago.
And the Knicks.
They also beat the Knicks in that same year. Tough series. They got some. Trae Young can come in and he could draw 40 in the game.
He iced Trae for real.
They got Bogey out there. Bogey can score the ball.
Oh, that motherfucker.
The Hunter is out there. They got a nice scoring team out there. Let's
and honestly,
not discount them.
They barely lost to Milwaukee that year. Milwaukee went on to win the championship, if I'm not mistaken.
So I think that Miami at times has trouble scoring if Jimmy Butler ain't on his playoff Jimmy shit. If he ain't putting up 30 points, Miami has a tough time winning basketball games. I'm going to give it to the Atlanta Hawks because they got the more offensive firepower in this game coming up. It's going to be an interesting play-in. Do y'all think this play-in tournament, when they added this to the playoffs, I think it's a pretty good thing overall.
Absolutely.
I think it's a pretty good thing. But this been a good discussion with the guys from NBA Central, man. Luka is going to be tough for you, my guy, in the future. I want to see what you do in the upcoming years. Y'all make sure y'all tune in to NBA Central, where we bring you the best NBA content around. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. See y'all next time. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the #1 place for your basketball fix, NBA Central, hosted by the Cognac Boys.